When producing a magazine, there's stages that companies have to go through. The first stage is gathering all the content, like interviews and stuff like this, and then the second stage is editing it all into a big document, and then you have to graphically design it, so lay it out on pages, make it look good like a magazine should, and then you have to produce this, which goes through like printing and then onto electronic things like the websites, the apps, the emails, the Facebook page, all the social media, everything like that. The aim is to produce a good quality magazine but as cheap as possible, but this comes with effects, like for example you have to have good enough pagination, glossy pages, good musicians and artists in there. They all come with costs, so that's an issue. When distributing these magazines, you have to either sell them in shops or you can do subscriptions. Subscriptions is the better option because it sets the customer into a fixed price, which they can't get out of, whereas sales in shops may only happen once if they don't enjoy it, whereas subscriptions, they're tied into it. And this means that it's delivered to their doorstep, and that's a unique selling point of having a subscription. However, having expensive magazines comes with its negatives. For example, the recession in the UK means that people don't have disposable income to spend at the end of the month, meaning that they can't spend maybe £3, £4, £5 a month on a magazine, and this leads to the magazine company losing out on money, which means they have less money to spend on making a good quality magazine with good artists, good musicians, good competitions, meaning overall it's a big loss. This can be shown from the sales of magazines. For example, NME in 2014 to 2050 has gone down 16.4%, Kerrang has gone down 6.5%, Q has gone down 8.7%, and this altogether shows that less people are spending money on magazines and switching to digital copies, which is a big issue for magazine companies. With the modern generation with magazines these days, they prefer technology over having hard copies. For example, there's YouTube videos and channels now that can give out information, and the same information, the same interviews, all these things that magazines do, but for free, and you can watch it, which is like less reading, which for our generation these days is a lot easier and a lot easier to go on like www.youtube.com and find these, other than running into a shop and actually having to buy this with your own money, of which people may not have because of the recession. An example of this is the website Pitchfork, which releases information daily and weekly, which means it can do this in between the times that music magazine companies do this, which is monthly, so it can get more information out to a higher audience and keep this audience. For example, they've expanded, they've gone and done festivals, the Pitchfork Festival, which released in 2006. They have a journal which is quarterly, retails at $20.